Greetings, this is my first talking video. I know I can be a bit of a slow talker. I'll try to work on that. I'll try to keep this as short as I can, but I've got a lot to say about Chuck Prophet. So I'm doing a 365-day mission of doing a different cover song each day. I'm going to do 52 different artists, plus a few other extra songs at the end of the year. And my first one is Chuck Prophet. He's very important to me. I listen to his stuff. I bought all of his albums back when I was going to college. I'd go to Amoeba Records in Berkeley with my tip money from working 2 cafe jobs or whatever. And I would go check out the Chuck Prophet section, and whenever there was a new CD, I'd buy it and love it. Chuck Prophet was one of the more often artists that I would share if someone wanted recommendation, because people hear Chuck Prophet, it's just good. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you're older, you like the more roots rock stuff, you will like it. It also has like beat samples and stuff in there. There's just a lot going on. It's phenomenal. It's danceable. It's fun. However, we're going to start by talking about a little bit more depressing side of Chuck Prophet. This isn't the first Chuck Prophet that I heard, but it's the first time that it really stuck in me that this guy really knows what he's doing. So you notice I'm putting a capo on. This song is in the key of A. There's an A chord right here, right? You can easily reach all of the chords you need with an open guitar, but you capo up. And there's this picture here of Chuck Prophet capoing up his electric guitar for rhythm. Maybe playing this song, who knows? Maybe a different one. But you do that to get this voicing. That high note up here, right? Which can go down to this. Let's listen to that melody for a second. That's that melancholy melody that happens whenever you play the main chord progression in the song New Year's Day. A melancholy song, right? The subject of the song is someone who's living in his car, been living in his hometown for the last 13 months. He's going to college, but not as a student. He's some janitor in college, custodian. And, yeah. For me, this really hit close to home because I was going to school for like 8 or 9 years. When I first entered college, I thought I'd be out in 3 years, and it ended up taking me forever. Failing this class, acing another one, just, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, starting another fresh year again, hoping for it to be better than the last one, and you just keep going over and over and over. And I know a lot of people have had that experience in their life, so this song has that melancholy, Now I want to highlight this chord. That's the 3 chord in a major key. That chord is a weird mystery chord in a major key. That doesn't mean it's entirely useful for most songs, but if you want the listener to feel kind of lost, like, where am I going? That's the chord you use, and that's exactly what's going on with the character in the song, right? He's lost. He's living in his car, thinking about some ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, just living through year and year and year. Maybe if you're feeling a bit melancholy, you don't listen to the U2 New Year's Day song, which is also quite melancholy, but maybe you listen to this one. It's an option. Anyways, it's on this very melancholy album. And, of course, most of Chuck Prophet's songs are just pretty cool, rhythmic, roots rock songs. So, you know, they're mostly uppity. But these three songs really had a great effect on me because this kind of roots rock musician is really delving deep. Like, that's not exactly what you'd expect. And he's doing stuff like this. Using a chord like that. This chord right here is one of the most dissonant things you'll ever hear. There's really no reason for it to exist harmonically other than that it's in between here and here. And it shouldn't be used all the time, but used sparingly. It's this spicy, intense thing. I think Mozart uses it in one of his piano sonatas in one of the movements, and it just has that little spice of melancholy, and it's just some of the most intense melancholy you've ever heard when you hear it in that Mozart piano sonata, and that kind of sets the tone for this Homemade Blood song, which sets the whole tone for the album. And then the next Kmart Family Portrait, you're in the darkest of dark keys, the E minor with the lowest minor key, right? And you even drag yourself back down to it. Right? But even these dark songs have these like little pokes to the major key, you know? Right? You kind of need that when you're making melancholy music, in my opinion, you know? You can't just be like whining. You have to be a full three-dimensional person, right? You can't just be some whiny all the time person. You have to actually, you know, have those major key or different moments in there to, I don't know, add more weight to the sad part, in my opinion. So, is this guy just all melancholy all the time? No, he's not. Check out this next album. The guy's wearing a suit, you know? He's not all disheveled right here. He's wearing a suit, but he's still got that pain in his eyes. And the opening track is called Rise, you know? It's this groovy thing. You're still in the minor key, but usually in the minor key, if you're in the depths of despair, you will do this chord. That's the dominant 5, right? Drags you into the depths of despair. Well, it's also possible to use a minor 5. Takes the edge off, makes it more groovy. Subject of the song, Rise. He's some guy who's maybe coming out of prison or something, like he's been totally screwed over in life, but he's rising up. Machine's gonna keep the beat. Ground is gonna kiss my feet. I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something, you know? You know, maybe you can't change your life to be in this happy major key, but maybe you can just alter your situation just a little bit from this to groove with it, move on forward, rise up, rise, you broken children, rise, right? That sets the whole tone for this next album, you know? There's The Hurting Business. That's some song about like, I hurt you, you hurt me, everybody hurts each other's feelings. Business is good in the hurting business, right? It's just like, hey, that's life, right? You know, the album before was Wallowing in the Depths of Despair. I think you have to wallow in the depths of despair if you want to actually rise up and do something positive, you know. You can't just run from the despair. You have to feel it, and then you can rise up. You know, I'm sure some psychologist somewhere will tell you that's the case. The other song from this Apology, has this phenomenal chord progression with these kind of dissonant notes. Dissonant note, right? And then you go to the next chord, and what was the non-dissonant note becomes a dissonant note. but then it drops down to a harmonious note. So it's like, hey, this song, everybody wants an apology. I want you to apologize to me. You want me to apologize to you. You think I'm wrong. I think you're wrong. You know, that's human nature, right? But here, he's showing in the chords. I don't know if he's thinking that deep about it, but you got the right note and the wrong note. Different context. The right note is wrong and the wrong note is right. So the ultimate conclusion of this apology song is like, maybe we do need apologies. Maybe we should be apologizing, but you know what? Let's just live our life, you know? Let's just forget about that stuff. It's a beautiful song. I encourage people to listen to it, of course, all of these songs. Next, you had that catharsis from the hurting business. You know, you're rising up, and now you arrive to this place. No other love. The man is finally been through the ringer and around there, and now he's ready to just make some sweet love songs. And there are so many sweet love songs on this album. I ran out of days, so I couldn't play a bunch of them, but this one is pretty cool because it uses like that kind of Petrarchian sonnet archetype, this trope of like the lover, you know, sitting outside the window saying like, oh, I would compare you to a beautiful white fluffy cloud, and, you know, something like that, some kind of nerdy, stupid metaphor, right? Which Shakespeare famously makes fun of with his whole sonnets. You know, the whole sonnets are completely tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic, making fun of Petrarch, who was the original dude who wrote these sonnet sets, these pining lover sonnets. But, you know, any kind of folk musician, I think you should do some stuff kind of like this, these kind of like patterns, these tropes, like try your hand on it, bring something new to it. And he does. He coolifies it, you know? It's like... Whoops. Mistakes aside, it's a cool groove, right? He's just smacking a bunch of cool on this totally uncool tradition. And, you know, talking about Cadillacs and pussycats and all sorts of cool language in there, too, to go with the cool groove and the cool guitar licks. He's trying to do everything he can to make something totally uncool and make it cool. Anyways, at the end of the day, the final song that I played is from Soap and Water, Something Stupid. What am I doing? I'm doing something stupid, you know? Am I supposed to, like, is the way to make it in the music business to make these silly vlogs, you know, gushing about an artist and recording your own covers, 365 of them, overworking yourself, doing some silly stuff? No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. But you know what? I'm sick of just living my life. New Year's Day again, New Year's Day again, New Year's Day again. I'm going to do something stupid. Anyways, what makes this song tick is he's doing some super, super plain chords, you know. Let me see. We're in the key of F. Let's capo it up. And, you know, that's basically the whole song. There's like a little bit of extra chords in here. And right when he's playing the other chords, he's saying like, let's do anything but the same old nonsense. Anything but the same old grind. He says that while he's playing the one different chord. There's so much detail here, right? Now, this time period, you know, early 2000s, late 90s, the guy's still making phenomenal music. But think about that time period. What was popular on radio? Did they have this much thought put into their music? Did they connect this much with the roots of what rock and roll are? You know, could you draw a direct line from Fred Durst to Chuck Berry. No, you could not. That was a trend. The whole crappy nu metal thing, you know. I don't want to drag a bunch of names in the mud, you know. Sorry, Limp Bizkit. Maybe you're better than I think you are. But that music's embarrassing now, right? Like, it was apparently the cool thing for some people at that time, but now it's embarrassing. And now Chuck Prophet, which ostensibly many people might call dad rock, similar, you know, or hearkening back to dad rock, you know, it's ultimately cool. If you actually watch videos of Chuck Berry, the man is cool. Jimi Hendrix. Has there ever been a cooler person to walk the earth? There's trendy cool and there's just real, true cool, you know? Who is the coolest country musician of all time? Obviously. You'd think I would say Waylon Jennings because I put that up there, but no. Who's he singing about in this? He's singing about Hank Williams, one of the coolest human beings to ever live. You know, here's Waylon in the 70s hearkening back to, or is it even 60s? I should probably get my facts straight on there. But he's hearkening back to Hank Williams in the song that he wrote for this album. And that's the whole point. That's how you get timelessly cool. This is a timeless album. So timeless, in fact, that, boom, Chuck Prophet did an entire cover album of it. So I think he understands what I'm trying to come to grips with my 365-day a year cover-a-thon. You know, I may not be the greatest musician at the moment, but I'm going to try to go through all the cool, amazing people that I've listened to over the years, including Chuck Prophet, and kind of breathe new life into me as a musician. So maybe I could get somewhere, you know? If you want your genre to die, follow the trends and market the new metal crap, you know, back in the 90s, or whatever's going on nowadays that's the equivalent of it, you know? A lot of these, rock music sounds very Pro Tools-y. I don't know how to describe it, but perfect metronomic beats, even though it's supposed to be live drums. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm going to say, you play Chuck Prophet nowadays, it's still phenomenal. The man's still releasing music. Not the same for, you know, all that new metal crap. That was a horrible trend. Hopefully that's not where rock music dies. Hopefully that's not where Americana music dies, you know? Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Please like, share, subscribe if you listen to the end of the video. I'm trying to talk fast. I'm sorry if I'm too slow. Love you guys. Bye-bye.